And we welcome you back to On the Hash with Hatfield here on Silva Sports TV, wherever you are tuning in. We thank you for doing so. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have a special guest with us. He is the head football coach of the 3-1 Hickory Hawks, who are off to their finest start in more than a decade. A big thrilling win over their Chesapeake rival, Great Bridge, 21-20 last week. And each week, he doesn't know about this, but we give out our Chicho's Pizza 757 Football Player of the Week, as well as our Il Giardino Coach of the Week. And getting that Coach of the Week is Donnell Brown of the Hickory Hawks. We say hello and congrats to him at 3-1. Coach, you get the honor. I don't know if that means you get something from Il Giardino. I hope so. I'll have to talk to the powers that be that helps set this up. But congrats to you. It's a nice start for you and your squad.
Well, I definitely appreciate this surprise honor. Definitely didn't tell me in advance, but I do definitely appreciate that. It goes to the whole staff, not just myself. Um, and the boys are off to a great start. We came out the gates with some great momentum. Ran into a very, very tough Indian River team with Coach Carr. Then we were able to get a victory with Western Branch and with Great Bridge, and the senior leadership is a big part of that, helping out with that and getting going. So I'm excited. We got a big, big matchup. As everyone knows, in the Southeastern District, there's no rest. You're going into another good opponent, playoff team in Deep Creek that we host here on Friday night.
Yeah, I just checked out the Hornets last Saturday, and then the loss was deceiving to a really strong Indian River team, 49-10, because they were in that ball game for a half, and their quarterback can do some things, and Breon Cuffey. But let's chat about you and your guys. What have made you 3-1 at this point? I know you had that one humbling loss to Indian River, which there's no shame in, the defending Region 5A champions. But I had been to go on NFHS Network a little bit later on afterwards and watch the finish to your game with Great Bridge, which was a heck of a finish. They had the lead 22-14 with about a minute 41 to go. Your quarterback rolls to the right. I think it was a 3rd and 12, and he found your wide receiver, Alex Underwood, for that go-ahead score. And you had to just be super proud to bounce back and put together a game-winning drive, which I think all coaches, you guys practice that 2-minute drill all the time, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. The resiliency of the team was really stood out. The irony when we looked at that game at halftime, it was very similar to what happened last year when we played Great Bridge. They came out with a great game plan, and they were attacking us, and we were in there a little bit. Last year, unfortunately, we did not respond the way we should have responded, and Great Bridge went on to beat us by a couple scores. This year, you saw a resiliency in the team that was different, where they came back and had a great third quarter where we took the lead. And then Great Bridge showed some good grit with their quarterback, and they threw a deep ball. I don't know the kid named number 9. He made a heck of a catch and got it down to the one. They took the lead. And then our kids, it's not cliche, but it's the truth. When they came off that field after the score, you just felt the energy on the sideline that we're going to go back and score. And that's a tribute to the leader and to the leaders of the team, especially with our quarterback, Owen Kelly, along with other leaders who kept the energy up on that play. The great part about that is he throws it to one of his close friends, Alex Underwood, who's what people call a program kid. Chances of college football for that kid is not high, but he's a high character kid, high GPA kid. He's at every workout. He's always trying to prove his craft. He goes to practice all August to work on improve his catching. And to see that happen was very special because of the nature of those two kids and who they are as people.
Yeah, and I want to dive in on some of your key guys like Alex and Owen, others that have helped you this start. It's the first 3-1 start for Hickory football. Your alma mater since 2011, and that team finished up with a winning record, 6-4, which you guys are striving for to have this year as you look to make the playoffs in a very competitive region field. For you, Coach, let's go in the Wayback Machine for a little bit. For those who don't know your background, you are from Hickory, as is your brother Ronell.
Yes.
I remember some Hickory teams when the school first opened up, and it's only been open since 1996. It hasn't been open as long as a lot of the Chesapeake and Southeastern District schools, or even schools around the 757. But I know you and your brother have to talk about it all the time. Like, man, I wish we had the 18 format back when we played, because you guys you had some teams that were just so close. In fact, Hickory, for those that forget, under Jeff Beard, 2006, I think it was, snapped that Oscar Smith district stranglehold, beat them shockingly. Fill the audience in on your background, high school, college days too, and what led you back to your alma mater, because you were coaching somewhere else in the 757 before you returned to Hickory.
Absolutely. I did play football high school under Coach Jeff Beard, who had a long time experience with Deep Creek. in the 90s. Deep Creek called the Glory Days. He was part of that staff. I believe Carter was the head coach. And then he went on to coach with Lou Johnson for a little bit, and then went to Kentsville. And he came and coached us. We started out with Coach Habit, who was the original coach at Hickory High School, and then Beard came along. Both of those coaches we've learned a lot from. Me, my brothers, and other teammates for. After that, was fortunate to play college football and blessed to play college football at James Madison University under Coach Mickey Matthews, who was just inducted to the College Hall of Fame at James Madison University. So definitely congratulations to him. Taught me a lot of things about football organization and how hard you can really play the game of football on Coach Mickey Matthews. Started my coach career at Broadway High School, right outside Harrisonburg. Coach Brad Lutz was the head coach. He's now at, I believe, William Fleming, if I want to be correct.
William Bird.
William Bird, yes.
Yep. Who won a regional championship last year, but he's done a great job there, yeah.
He's a winner. And if you have never met the guy and been around him, you see why. Because it's not just about what's on the field. He wins in all facets of the programs. And definitely learned a lot from him. And then was fortunate to come back home, work on a Jupiter for a while here at Hickory. Then I was learning a lot from him as well. He's doing well down there at Hickory Ridge in Charlotte. And then I went to Jamestown, got an eye-opening experience out there with the powerhouse Lafayette right next door. And then War Hill, Coach Wheeler was the coach there, Thad Wheeler. And they were emerging. And then you have a lot of traditions in Bay Rivers with York and all those other schools, Tab. So definitely got an experience out there. Had some growing pains, but learned a lot from there. The opportunity came to come back to Hickory, and it was something that I always wanted to do because we've had some success. You had Beer where he had his 3 years of success. Then you went in where Coach Wilson had success 1 year high. And when I say success, we'll say winning records. And then you had Coach Sitterson also had one there too. So I knew it could be done again. We just had to get back to some of them roots and some of those things. And that was a big part of the conversation I had with Coach Jupiter Wilson when he left and I took the job. We must have talked for days just about different things that he saw that he may have done differently, that he would have changed and all those things and those adjustments. So that kind of helped lay the groundwork. And then it was just trying to get the right thing going, get the right people on the bus as far as coaches and players, and get this thing moving in the right direction. So that's kind of background where I am to where I'm coming back at Hickory, the coach here.
And you mentioned some very fine people that have been involved in your coaching odyssey here with the likes of going back to Jeff Beard, who was at Deep Creek with Jerry Carter in the 90s before David Cox took over. And you mentioned Coach Lutz up there now, William Bird, Jupiter Wilson, and others that have contributed to your growth as a coach and what you're doing now at Hickory with the staff at 3-1 on the season. But let's be honest here. Jupiter, the former Hawks coach, is a UNC guy. You're a JMU guy. You had to rub it in on him when they beat him 70-50 2 weeks ago, did you not? You had to just plug the stuff with them about that, didn't you?
I was so ready to text him. But I paused on the text.
Oh.
I usually wait until we cross paths or we talk. We usually call each other and catch up on each other. And
well, now's your chance. You can just talk as much junk as you want to.
Well, he knew the better school came out on top, and I tried to let him know for a while that when it comes to not even just football no more with JMU, because men's basketball took off. You had a year with softball took off. I believe it's lacrosse and field hockey. It's amazing. I don't know if you had a chance to go back up there, but when I went back up,
championships, I do the call for the NFHS network, this championship games. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. As is my dad, who's an alum of JMU 77. Not to cut you off here, but so I do the ODU women's basketball on radio. I've done it the last 3 years. So every time JMU beats, I say us ODU. I hear it from my dad literally the minute the game ends. So
yeah, I've been like I said, I haven't reached out to Jupe just yet, and I know he's waiting. He's probably sitting there saying, soon as I pick up the phone, I'm going to slip it out and say, hey, JMU still on top. That was surprising when the week before was the Hall of Fame weekend where Coach Matthew got inducted, and then the 2004 championship team, which had a lot of players from the 757, a part of that team. They all got inducted, and we didn't play our best game against Gardner-Webb. So there was moaning and groaning as a fan, you could say. But if you ever encounter Coach Chesney, he's going to get it done. He's a well-spoken, high character guy. I just get a vibe from him that he's going to do it the right way and build it the right way. And I'm excited to see what he did. And the turnaround from week 1 or week 2 against Gardner-Webb to UNC, I think that speaks volume. And then the follow-up this week against Ball State, I think it speaks volume to who he is.
I actually told my dad I thought the win over Ball State, in a strange way, people might argue it, was more impressive than the UNC one, just because of how dominant the defense was in the margin. To follow it up, making that stick to get the win like that, because you can always be on upset alert. You know how kids are, which we're going to get
Exactly.
to how it compares to your situation coming up here this week with Deep Creek. But it's amazing what JMU has done, that athletic department, with all the sports, and just to see the coaches to go from Mickey Matthews, Mike Houston wins a championship, Kurt Signetti, who's got Indiana undefeated right now.
Yes.
And now we see what Coach Chesney coming in from Holy Cross has done is remarkable. Let's touch on your guys and what's going to take to be a factor as we get closer and closer to November. It's now October here. You're 3-1. What do you like most about this team, Coach, as far as your strengths and allows you to have a chance in these ball games against the Southeastern District schools that are known for a ton of success? We've got 3 or 4 schools that have won region championships or been in the state playoffs lately with Oscar Smith. Its dominance. Western Branch is 2 years removed. Kings Fork, and some of those teams you'll see later on the schedule. But I imagine that Western Branch one was the one that helped you catapult to what happened against Great Bridge. And looking for more here, but give us some of the names and what you think you guys do well in the field.
Well, first and foremost, it starts with the quarterback position. Owen Kelly, who last year came back. Everybody's familiar with the situation, but he came back, and what he did once he came back till now, you couldn't ask better. It was head down, working, regaining some of the trust, and become the leader that he was always destined to be. And he did that and led us all through the offseason. Just working tremendously hard. Anytime you have a calm, steady hand at the quarterback, you have a chance. And I think that's in all of football. Now you're not sitting there worried about if you're going to get the snaps or you're going to get the right decision making. It kind of calms down everything. One of the biggest things that I think helped out this year is the play of the O-line. Those kids across the board, they've been hitting the weight room all season. And they're starting to make some moves in the trenches, run the ball on teams. We were able to run the ball against Western Branch, which helped tremendously. Run the ball against Great Bridge, course against Manor. Those things help out a lot when you're trying to attack the defenses in the Southeastern District, because of the elite athleticism you have on the perimeter in this district. I mean, there's no secret. Any college coach, anybody could tell you when you watch the Southeastern District game, there's some studs on the field that you're looking at like that's going to be playing at a big time school in college. So having the ability to run the ball on offense has helped out tremendously. Defensively, the guys are flying around. They're playing sound defense and they're flying around and they're playing as a unit, playing for each other, not playing for themselves. I know we have some players who are having a lot of tackles in our Mike Backer. And Grayson Midget, but it's the collective effort. We have Ikaika Liao at DN, who absolute monster out there on the DN, on the edge for us in the run game, providing pass rush. He's the one that had the game sealing pressure that helped force that fumble at the end of the game against Great Bridge to seal that one. Doing a great job on the edge for us with that. Javon Walker running the ball. That was huge for us. He's a big load. He runs behind his pads. He's finishing runs. You saw in the game against Great Bridge, and even sometimes against Western Branch, where you're like, he's willing us right now. He's refusing to go down, which is huge for us. But it's been a collective effort. I know I highlighted those things, but it's been a collective effort. Secondary playing better, special teams, Vasquez as our kickers, giving us the ability to knock in 3 points consistently. It's been a collective effort that's been helping out. That's the thing we're most proud about, because it's a team. It's unity that's doing it, and that's what's going to be able to put us in a position to go further.
Yeah, it feels like that complementary football, which gets sometimes overused, but it feels like when your offense is making big plays, it'll be Javon Walker running it, and Owen Kelly throwing it to Underwood and the receivers, the line blocking, and the defense getting after it like Ikaika Liao, as you mentioned, the special teams units converting the kicks, the field goals, field position. It all kind of plays hand in hand. For you, a couple more we'll let you run. We thank you for coming on the program. I'm curious, adversity, when you battle adversity and you lose the way you did in your, I mentioned the Western Branch game being a big win. When you suffered that loss, maybe years past, it might have lingered for you. How did you guys deal with that? Because they are one of the better teams around, but to respond and not let it, dwell over you, if you will.
Well, I mean, one thing I always believe in when prepping for a team is to be straightforward. and tell you who the team is that you're playing. And I gave my opinion on what I thought Indian River, the talent they had, the coaching all come together, what their potential chances can be. I won't say it out on the thing because then Carl would kill me, but
Sure.
I thought they had a really good team. And we had to play a certain way to battle with them and to do certain things. So coming back from film, and we come in to meet on film, I thought it was two things. One, our kids needed to see what was their doing, what was our doing. Did we lose leverage on that play? Did we not play with fundamentals on defense? Did we not see the blitzing linebacker? Did we not execute those plays? And that was a big part of the conversation. And then the other part, talking with our coaching staff is believing. Did these kids step on the field believing that they could beat Indian River? And we kind of left thinking that the kids didn't think they could do it. And we thought as coaches, it was our job to help instill that belief that, you can play with these teams in this district. You can put yourself in a position to win. And we just spent a lot of time after that game. And it was, we're going to come out here and we're going to play and we have a chance to beat Western Branch. And we, not saying we will like calling games, but we wanted to instill that when you do the right things in the game of football, you put yourself in a position to win the game of football. So belief was a big part. So it was fixing the fundamentals, fixing the errors, and then getting our kids to understand that we can do it. And I think that's across the board in any school.
Mm-hmm. Final one, and it's great perspective from you, Coach. You got Deep Creek coming up. It's a chance to beat them for the first time since 2016. They've won the last 7 in the series, and the Hawks haven't had a 3-game winning streak since 2011. So if you can get to 4-1, you know how enormous that would be, not just for the morale, your kids, the school, the confidence, but for the playoff chase, because that's what you're all striving for, is to get in that 8-team field in Region 5A. What's it going to take to beat them and even surprise more people to get to 4-1?
Well, Coach Twine always does a great job with his team. They're going to be physical. They're going to try to establish the run game. And Coach Howard, who both of those, Twine I used to play against when he was at Great Bridge, and then Coach Howard at Deep Creek. But he's going to have the defense ready. So they're going to be well coached. They're going to try to establish their physicality. For us, we got to come out here, A, like I said, always believe that we can do it. And then B, play at a high level, executing on offense and defensively doing what we're supposed to do to get off the field, playing together, and then not letting one play or one touchdown or whatever play deteriorate from our goal, and not sit there and think because one thing happened, now the rest of the game is going to happen. No, let's play the game. Let's play the full game. Let's play after play. Let's play full quarters and come out here prepared and ready to go and play to the best of our abilities. And that will be our best chance at playing a very good opponent in Deep Creek.
Well, we're wishing you all the best. I never root for teams to win or lose unless it's in the picks contest when I'm going opposite my Saturday partner on the podcast, Coach Young. If he's got one team, I root for the other team in that specific case. However, I say that all to say to you, I hope you continue to get more victories because that means I can get out there to see the Hawks in action and get me a Hawk burger. I haven't had a Hickory Hawk burger in a while. That is some great stuff. You guys do it great up there at Hickory. I mean, from everybody, the whole atmosphere, the school officials, the band, the cheerleaders, and especially those at the concession stand, they do a top-notch job getting that Hawk burger because the first time I had it, I think it was around 2007-ish, 2000, somewhere in there. I was like, oh, this is a different kind of burger. It is.
Yes, our band who runs our concessions, they do a great job with that Hawk burger. And even my friends in the coaching profession, they will always joke and they're like, hey, after the game, you make sure they still have them burgers ready so I can get a Hawk burger on the way home. So definitely I invite everybody to come on out and support. It's our homecoming weekend. So it should be exciting. Hopefully it's going to be a great game against a great opponent in Deep Creek. So I'm excited for Friday night.
There you go. Go check out Donnell Brown and his Hickory Hawks 3-1 playing host to the Deep Creek Hornets in a big Southeastern District matchup this coming Friday. And again, our El Jardino, congrats to you. Coach of the week in the 757, Donnell Brown. All the best to you, my friend. We will talk soon and enjoy it this week and beyond.
All right. Thank you. And good to see you.
Great to see you. That's Donnell Brown of the Hickory Hawks, our guest here. We'll take a time out here from some of the sponsors that make it possible for us to do On the Hash with Hatfield right here on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be back with more to put the finishing touches on this week's episode.